are the deadliest animals in the world, part 1. Up first is lions. Lions kill about 250 people every single year. This really isn't a surprise, because we all know how deadly lions are. Next up are hippos. Hippos kill over 500 people every single year, and they are super aggressive. Sometimes hippos' babies even fall victim to their tempers. Finally are alligators. Alligators kill about 1,000 people every single year, which is a lot of deaths, making the alligator one of the most deadliest animals on Earth. This is what would happen if all parents disappeared. Up first, every single kid would wake up and realize that their parents are gone. They then assume that their parents will be back, so they then take advantage of this time alone. Next up, kids will be eating a lot of junk food and honestly eating whatever they want. With no parents around saying what they can and can't eat, they would take it into their own hands. Next up, after every single kid realizes that their parents aren't coming back, they will all begin to panic. This would then result in a lot of chaos and even death. Next up, a lot of kids will then die of starvation from their parents not being there making them food. I mean, yes, there's always snacks to eat, but what is a 2-year-old baby able to reach in a cabinet? Next up, everything will be dirty. Since there is no more parents to clean things up, kids won't do it themselves, resulting in everything becoming a mess and unable to clean. These are the worst ways to die in the ancient world. Up first is rat torture. Rat torture is when a rat is placed in a small cage directly on the person's stomach. The outside of the cage is then heated up, which agitates the rat. The rat then does the only thing it could do, which is eat through your body to escape. It's an extremely painful way to die, and honestly might be one of the worst ways to die ever. Up next is something called the rack. The victim was placed on a wooden frame, and their hands and feet were tied to both sides, connected to a roller. The torturer would then turn the roller, causing it to rip off the victim's arms and legs. This is extremely brutal, and it is said to be one of the most painful torture methods of all time. This 2022 prediction will terrify you. This is Baba Vanga. She is a Bulgarian mystic who is known for making predictions about the future that come true. And her prediction for 2022 is absolutely terrifying. She said that this year an ancient glacier is going to melt due to global warming, and within this glacier is going to be a virus. And once the glacier fully melts, this virus will be released to the world. And the worst part about this is that humans couldn't handle this virus, and it will cause us to go extinct. Knowing our luck for the past couple years, it wouldn't surprise me if this actually happens. But let's all hope that it doesn't, because this will be complete chaos. These are facts that will make you rethink life, part 3. Up first, we all know how unlikely it is to win the lottery. But did you know you're more likely to be killed by an asteroid than to win the lottery? So if you or somebody you know loves buying lottery tickets, you guys should just accept that you're never going to win. Up next, these two men right here are brothers and the founders of Puma and Adidas. But not only were they brothers, but they were also Nazis. This is kind of mind-blowing, and it's crazy that this isn't more known. Next up, we all laugh while being tickled. But did you know this is actually a panic response from your body? It may seem like all fun and games on the outside, but on the inside, your body is completely tweaking. These are crazy facts about North Korea that you won't believe are real, part 1. Up first, most of the books in North Korea are said to be written by Kim Jong-un. They say that he wrote over 1,500 books in just 3 years. This obviously isn't true, and it's crazy that the citizens of North Korea believe this. Next up, in North Korea, the most popular gift to give somebody on New Year's is meth. This is seen as a very luxurious gift to give somebody, which is honestly just mind-blowing. If that's a good and luxurious gift in North Korea, I wonder what a bad gift is. Finally, if you commit suicide in North Korea, your entire family could be punished, meaning they could be sent to prison, a labor camp, or even die. This makes absolutely no sense, but most of the things in North Korea make no sense at all. These are punishments for different crimes around the world, part 2. Up first is breaking the rules in school. In the United States, if you break the rules in school, you will either get detention or suspended. But if you're in Swaziland and you break the rules in school, the teachers can actually severely beat the students for not following the rules. Next up is having weed. Currently, 19 states in the United States allow recreational use of weed. And nowadays, there really isn't any punishment for weed in the United States. But if you have weed in Singapore, you could actually be sentenced to hanging. Next up is pickpocketing. In the United States, if you get caught pickpocketing, you can serve up to 6 years in prison. But if you get caught pickpocketing in Somalia, you have to get your arm and leg amputated if you're found guilty. This is what would happen if Antarctica melted. Up first, the sea levels will rise an extra 196 feet, which would leave houses, businesses, and cities completely submerged underwater. Next up, all 7 continents would be partially underwater. This is caused by the rise in sea level, and not only will this destroy cities and towns, it will also take millions of lives. Next up, the saltwater in the oceans would completely go away, causing the extinction of all marine life. This would be completely awful for the planet, so let's hope Antarctica never melts, and if it does, let's hope it doesn't in our lifetime. These are the most disturbing ways that serial killers killed people, part 1. Up first is Joe Ball. Joe Ball was a prolific serial killer whose way of killing people was extremely disturbing. He fed at least 20 girls to alligators, which is honestly just inhumane. Up next is Dennis Nilsen. This man used to mutilate his victims and then flush all their body parts down the toilet. I can't believe these people are actually real and existed. Up next is Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer would drill holes in his victims' heads and then fill it up with acid in an attempt to mind control them. This might be the most chilling thing a serial killer has ever done, because when he was doing this, these people were still alive. This is what would happen if the sun turned into a black hole. Up first, literally nothing would change. Earth and all the other planets would continue orbiting the same exact way. Earth would never get pulled by the black hole and wouldn't be torn apart by its immense gravitational pull. Earth would be completely safe, but humans and animals won't. Lack of heat and sunlight would turn Earth into a frozen planet, which would cause mass extinction around the globe. Deep sea creatures and organisms would be the only life forms on Earth that would survive. This is how powerful a nuke actually is. Okay, we all know how powerful a nuke is, but have you ever seen a nuke destroy something with your own eyes? Well, if not, you're about to. I'm about to show you the impact of light radiation and shockwaves on a wooden house that's located 1,100 meters away from the blast.